Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. So I'm going to display the live stream on the log there. Of course, hearing audio coming back, waiting for audio to come back via my watch. But yeah, not yet hearing that. I'm hearing it through cqnorthwest, and it would probably help if I have the volume up on the YouTube, but I'm giving it a little bit of wobble. Yep, I can hear myself. So yeah, giving it a little bit of a warble there, and making sure that I am getting in. So I am going to be using GB3 GM again for the net control, if I can. And then, of course, yeah, we've got all of the call signs that were in the net last week. But I'm going to go up to the top. Well, I say I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to actually grab everything, and you'll see it all disappear before your eyes. So we do that, if you're watching the live stream, that is. And then I'm going to call, what I'm going to do is, like normal, I'm going to call for 5 check-ins. I will pass it round those 5 check-ins, and then we'll call for 5 more. So we'll be going up to 6 on the log, because I put myself in there as the beginning. So of course you'll see I've turned white again if you're watching the live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call for contact number 1. So if you'd like to be number 1 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, Michael at 11 in Tennessee, United States of America, checking into the Wales Ragchew Net for the week.
Yeah, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, I got you there, Michael. And thanks very much for making time to join us. So if you'd like to be number 2 in the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
2E0 VWJ, James checking in from Spain. Good evening. 2E0 VWJ.
Yeah, thanks very much there, James in Spain. So, yep, I'm guessing that that's on the YSX there as well. So, yep, that's all good. So, if you'd like to be number 4 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
G0 EUZ, Rolling, Cambridge.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Rod. Got you there, G0 EUZ. I'm going to, yeah, that's all good. It does normally help if I'm not clicking on the actual screen that's going out and actually click where the log is. That does actually help. So I'm guessing it's DMR on the XLX server. So, yeah, that's all good. So, if you'd like to be number 5 into the Wales Ragchew Net, that's including myself, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Okay, nothing heard. So we've got 4 into the list, so that's all good. And I believe there's an AMHF contest going on as well, and there's been contests going on all week. So right, we'll put it round to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Papa.
Thanks, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, coming from a wet Tennessee. We've had rain yesterday and a little bit this morning. And the temperature is now currently dropping. As the day progresses, we're getting an Arctic blast coming down from Canada. So it's going to just drop temperatures all the way down. what I understand, we're going to have negative numbers by in the morning. And so that's something to see because winter is definitely set up here. And it's been a busy week for me this week, and I'll get to it here in a little while, I guess. But things are going well today as far as the Choctaw household. Things are going good at this point in time. Not so well at the beginning part of this week, but we're doing better now. And I'm going to hear Rod out there and hopefully have a really good net today. Now I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, yep, that's all okay there, Michael. So next, we're going to go round to Spain, 2E0, Victor, Whiskey, Juliet, James, and it's obviously via the WiresX.
2E0 VWJ calling in from Spain. Yes, I'm coming through the WiresX, so I've managed to get the WiresX and the laptop all set up this week. I did have the radio just loose in the cupboard and the wires all over the place, but I managed to mount the radio and the everything all together so that it can all be connected up and work properly. And I've changed locations slightly, so I've got some really good internet. And it's been a very pleasant week. There's been a few maintenance jobs going on, from water to electrics and exhaust pipes. But generally a pleasant sunny week, just with the odd cloudy day, but not bad. Anyway, I'll put it back to Chris and I'll fill in on the DIY jobs further down the net from 2E0 VWJ, back to control.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, that'll explain why I haven't heard you through the week as well. Why Jeeps there. Right, we'll go round to Rod, G0EUZ, and then we'll call for some more check-ins. I have seen Andy 2W0APD on my dashboard.
G0EUZ. That's good. Yeah, good evening, Michael and James and Chris. Yeah, I remember Steve said he wouldn't be on tonight, would he? Big family get together. So that's where he is. I wasn't sure whether you'd make it, Michael, because I remember you saying Kathy was going having a procedure done. So hopefully she's on the mend. And we can move forward from there. I've not been too good this last 4 days. It's a bit cold, but it seems to be lingering, you know. One day I feel quite well, and the next day I don't. So I've done quite a lot of messing about today, talking about do-it-yourself jobs, but I'll go into that later. It's been a busy day. So, and it's also very cold. And I think that blast of cold weather that's coming down to you, spinning off and coming straight back over the Atlantic to us. So, not looking forward to that, but hey ho. Going to take the rough with the smooth, but apparently it's going to come across and stay over on this side, hovering. Yeah, we shall see. Anyway, back to you, Chris. M7CCS, G0EUZ in the group.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yep, weather and coming here this way, and of course getting cold. Yeah, I'm getting used to it now, in a sense. But of course, yeah, coming off from Michael's there, and yeah, I'll leave Michael to explain about the medical procedures, etc. But of course, yeah, my wish has been with him most of the week there. So we're going to try Andy. I'm hoping not anything he's compiled together. And round to you there, Andy. 2W0APD. Then I'll call for check-ins. Okay, nothing heard there. I've got a Sooty just listening, some at dinner. Of course, yeah, I've not finished actually doing that yet. We try Andy on the next one. He might be listening to the live stream and then obviously delayed to us there. Yeah, we'll I'll just mark Sooty and Sue as listening, and then I will call for Collins 11 IJP. I will put her as listening as well, because if Sooty's listening, she's normally listening. I know Daryl MW0TTF, 0TTF, yeah. He's normally listening as well, but he's not much of a net person, but he's normally listening to the net with Mrs. Darrell. We will call for check-ins. If you'd like to be in the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Hand it over, because I've just upped the numbers. Okay, I actually have nothing heard there. But of course, we have got people who've joined, because of course, yeah, the messages are coming through my wrist. Sooty M7CCS is listening. I've not actually looked at the messages properly, because obviously they just come through. So yeah, Sue is listening. Barry is listening to E0PXW as well. Dinner's on the go, but sound great and all going through, says Sooty. Yeah, don't jinx it. Yeah, all going through, all good. Right, I'll give the report, the half-hour, 45-minute mark of how well the other thing's doing. Right, we go round to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India Papa.
Well, thank you, Chris. It's Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India Papa from Tennessee. Just to do a quick recap of what we had this week. We found out Kathy's potassium was low, dangerously low. That's what we had been told by one of her tests. And it turns out actually her magnesium and potassium were dangerously low, and she started having some heart problems. So I took her to the emergency room earlier this week, and they ran a bunch of tests on her and didn't confirm that her potassium and the magnesium were low. They hooked her up to an IV, gave her a unit of both of those, and seemed to help. So fortunately, we didn't have to spend the night in the hospital at that time. Yesterday, we had a procedure that was required by the transplant team, and they ran what they call a heart catheterization, where they run a probe from her neck to an artery down to her heart, and they check for blockages and different things going to the heart. Fortunately, it came back perfectly fine, so she's good to go as far as that procedure. We have a few more procedures to do before the transplant, but those will come down the line in the next month or so. And the only worry we had was because it is go through an artery, we were afraid she might have problems closing up and stopping the bleeding. But she did perfectly well. She came through with flying colors. And so that's what we've had this week, and we appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers for Kathy as we progress. Well, now I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Michael. And of course, yeah, you could explain it better than what I did. Of course, yeah, I just, yeah, pretty much I was checking the old book and I saw a message there and I was like, oh no. We'll go round to James now in Spain, 20 Victor Whiskey Juliet. And yeah, in case any of your friends are listening on GB3GM, I am unit from net control.
new pump that was supposed to have a non-return valve in it, which it didn't. And so then I got a non-return valve, and I finally got to the bottom of that, and hey ho, all the water's working lovely now. And then we sort of drifted on to a problem with the exhaust. It was a bit of this noisy rattle as we was driving along, and I had a look underneath, and it was there's like a heat shield above the exhaust box, which had decided to disintegrate. So I did a bit of a Blue Peter job on that, and fixed. But luckily that happened because I noticed the main weld where the exhaust pipe goes into the end of the exhaust box, which is a pretty hefty thing, was 50% rotten through, and it wouldn't take much for it to break away. So I got this epoxy rain putty milliput that I mixed up and cemented it all on, and yeah, jobs are good. So yeah, it's been a bit of and then we run into electrical problems, but I'll probably come back on the next over with that one. But yes, it's sort of a DIY on the run, as it were. But all stuff keeps you busy, something to do in the daytime. So anyway, I'll put it back to control from 2E0 VWJ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thanks very much there. And yeah, lots of fixing, but it's keeping you busy though. So that's all good. And yeah, for anybody who's looking at that, yeah, your dashboard isn't malfunctioning. Because, of course, yeah, it looked like no one's coming through that. And he's coming out in the radio. But, yeah, it is working there, and of course, yeah, he's using WiresX direct, no RF involved. But he doesn't have a DMR ID. If you had the DMR ID, it would come through the system, and you'd see him. But of course, we can still hear him, we can still communicate, and it's all good, isn't it? So next we'll go round to Rod G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ, back to the group. Yeah, Michael, I'm glad Kathy came through everything all right. It's definitely a worry when there's so many problems, but hopefully it'll start happening there. A very good friend of mine, he's died since, but he had a heart and lung transplant done in the States. He couldn't get one over here. And he went over to the States for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, and he had it done there. And he lived a good 10 or 15 years after that, so he did very well. Because that's a major, isn't it? Heart and lung. But there we go. And James, well, yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd have to do if I went with an old vehicle. Always a problem with finding stuff that keeps going wrong, you know. But fortunately, my car's doing all right for a 20-year-old. It's not been too bad. I've just put a, funny if you talk about exhaust, I've just put a back box on. I didn't fail its MOT on it, but it obviously was blowing, so I changed it anyway. Wasn't too big a job. Very heavy, man. You know, for a chap of my age, fiddling about underneath with it. It was a bit difficult, but there you go. My consultant is sending me next Wednesday for an iron infusion. So she's still a bit concerned that my iron's a bit on the low side. Although she did say the iron results wasn't neither too high or not too low, but she still wants to give me some more. So we shall see, but at least she's taken me off the tablets, which were causing me a great deal of problem. unfortunately, I think the infusion gives me gastric problems for a couple of days afterwards, and then it's clear. Whereas the tablets, which I took every other day, gave me trouble for 2 days, and then of course it's time to go again. Right, back to Chris M7CCS G0. Use that.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, anybody watching the live stream will see I'm struggling to get the WiresX nodes in, but I'm still giving it a go. I still might actually get it to fit, and yeah, it looks like I've got it to fit. Yeah, of course, I had a bit of a problem, so I'll mention it now. So we're approaching the 8 o'clock mark. We've been going for, well, at least 40 minutes. 42, and of course, yeah, normally my WiresX gateway, it didn't matter what I did, of course, yeah, it would reboot itself while we were doing a Ragchew Net, and of course, yeah, well, now we thought it was voltage, we changed that, it wasn't voltage, yeah, the way I fixed it in the end is I put a USB-C sound card in there, instead of simulating that it had WiresX. That didn't fix it. And then I thought, well, I'm remoting into the actual PC. So, yeah, anybody that is watching now, if I actually go onto it now, I can actually pull down the rest of the wires system there. So, yeah, you can see that all running there into one PC. And which is the gateway. When I'm remoted into that gateway, the problem that I used to get is, of course, it was rebooting because it's hearing the audio that's going out for the live stream. Well, we fixed it on Monday, yeah, fixed it on Monday, and I'm glad to say it's all working good now. What we'll do now is I'll have a look there. We spoke to Rod. So we'll see if Andy's with us, 2W0AP. Okay, nothing heard from Andy, so what I'm going to do for him is I'm just going to mark him as listening, just to make my life a little bit easier for now, but if he does call in, of course, yeah, we can reinstate him. That's all good. We have got Pablo M6DQB is listening as well. It's all good, and it looks like, yeah, I've got to actually edit on sized it, so I've got to resize on there the WiresX coming in there and showing the gateways and the WiresX working. So that's all done. So if anybody else would like to join the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Hand it over. Okay. Right, I wasn't even going out then. But I have seen a call sign and M0OKW. So I was rambling on. Many people didn't get it, but there's Mark, M0OKW. Over to you there.
Well, that was weird. I didn't even know I was getting through to you.
Yep, I saw your call sign, and yeah, you got through to me there. And of course, yeah, I was babbling on, and then yeah, I actually dropped from the repeater because the repeater I'm using is 30 miles away RF, C4 FM. But of course, yeah, I just happened to see your call sign there, so I thought, there's Mark. So I put it over to you there, and yeah, Mark's one of the reasons that I babble too much, and well, I blame him. But yeah, we met on a repeater, and of course, yeah, now we say it's 5, yeah, well, it was more than 5 years, about 6 years ago. So it's 2019, and I was newly licensed and on the repeater. He wasn't long licensed, and on the repeater, and yeah, we got told off and all sorts. But of course, yeah, used to speak to Mark every day. Not so much now though. But yeah, we put it round to Mark. M0OKW, and I'm going to have to update my log because you're not there.
Yeah, okay, Chris. Well, what I did was I turned it to the TGIF group, and then I updated the hotspot, and it took about 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I heard you calling out my call sign. It was rather weird because it was actually doing nothing, and then all of a sudden you came through. So I don't know what that's about. Could you fill me in on what was going on there? Back to you.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. So yeah, if you keyed up the TGIF, then you activated TGIF on your hotspot. And then you were hearing me because obviously, yeah, it was silent because I think I just dropped. So I will ask people about that one on the way round if I did drop out. And then I saw that you would have call sign on the dashboard, so yeah, I pounced. So yeah, out of the confusion there. But it's all good. Updating a contact as we speak, so well, you'll see, well, people will see on the live stream that his name's now come up, Mark. So yeah, it's all good there. So I've just got to get the spelling right of Carmarthen. So it's CWMVON. I think. So and of course, yeah, that is in South Wales. So back over to you there, Mark, and then we'll go up to the top of the list.
Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you what happened. I actually forgot that I had to key in, so that's why nothing was happening. I had the mic between my legs.
Okay, Mark, right, you have the mic between your legs, and then it went blank. I have seen another key up from 2W0APD, so does that mean you're now with us, Andy? I will change the log and make you active. Okay, nothing heard there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on moving it round. Yeah, I'll have a little bit of a natter because, of course, yeah, it's for me, isn't it? Yeah, of course, yeah, the Wales Ragchew Net. It was established the 1st of February 2020. Yeah, to think back now, It was established by calling out to a wall, essentially. And of course, yeah, we've got everybody on that now, and of course we've swapped networks as well. Yeah, we're still running there. So, of course, but you know what that means? Next week, it's the 5th birthday of the Wales Ragchew Net, as well. So of course, yeah, we'll be celebrating the 5th birthday next week, and it falls on a Saturday as well. Just happens to. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we go round to Michael. India Papa.
Well, thanks, Chris. This was Kevin 5 Romeo India Papa, and hopefully next week we'll be doing a happy birthday party to the Wales Ragchew Net. I'm looking forward to it. Rod, I'm glad to hear that you're getting there slowly. As a lot of us learn, sometimes the medicine is worse than the thing that it's supposed to be curing. So hope everything goes well and they finally get this straightened out. They started that lung heart transplant together a few years ago, from what I understand, because it makes it more successful when the heart and the lungs are transplanted together. Makes it more compatible. I'm glad your friend got that. I'm glad he's doing so well. I'm hoping that the same results will happen with Kathy when she gets her liver, is that she'll just continue to get better and better. We'll see how it goes. We've got a presidential inauguration on Monday. This is a very unique thing. It's only happened once before in the history of the United States, where a presidential candidate, Grover Cleveland, the first one that happened, was in office for 4 years, wasn't reelected. 4 years later, he was elected again as president, and the same things happened to President Trump on Monday. He was out of office for 4 years and was reelected and back in office. So it's kind of a unique situation with us. I'm coming up on Monday to see that. Like I say, it hasn't happened since about 1885, I believe, and 1893, something like that. So it is a unique thing happening up. And in addition to that, we have Martin Luther King Day on that day, which is another special occasion. So we got a lot of good things coming up, including the Wales Ragchew birthday net. I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, it was strange. So of course, yeah, in the W.D.R.G this week, in the meeting, of course, yeah, we bridged it, and I said that I'd like to put an established date on the Wales Ragchew Net, but that also makes the group 4 years old. So yeah, well, it's actually no, it's not. It's the same. It's the same as 5 years old. But yeah, it'll be 5 years old in May. Of course, yeah, we were going to put the established on the logos and things, and of course, yeah, I looked back to find out when the nets actually started and stuff like that, and of course, I've been, well, I still talk on 2356, it's wherever the Australians keep, and if they key up on 2356, then I join them over there in the morning. If I key up on 2356, then of course, if they key up on our group W.D.R.G, then I'll join them here. So yeah, they just choose where they go, kind of thing. But by doing that, of course, yep, we ran into a station. I first remembered him as M7CCS. I can't remember his actual call sign now, but it's changed to a Swedish call sign as well. And his name is Darren. So yeah, he did come on. He said he'd been monitoring, and he said there was not much all going on and whatever, and he'd had the hotspot monitoring, and yeah, he thought it had all died off, kind of thing. But of course, yeah, then he heard me there, and I told him no, it's not all died off and where it was, and we got him over onto this system. So yeah. There I am, I'm call sign searching now, so yeah, his call sign is SA3, yeah, DSX, so of course, yeah, the Swedish call sign came across the network, and yeah, we had a chat, we updated and everything else. So Right, according to my dashboard, we did have a key up from Michael. Michael was last heard. So we'll go round to James 2E0 Victor Whiskey Juliet.
I couldn't remember whether it was the 4th or the 5th year birthday, and I quite like Michael's the excitement there about the birthday themed Ragchew next week, and whether.
I started hearing you coming out of CQ North. And then round to Rod. Sorry you got cut out there. And I'll say it again, 2W0APD. Do not transmit on whatever you have built on CQ Northwest. It took the system out and all of its connections. So, over to Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Well, thanks, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, and I was just trying to change over to another server and see if I could get in. When I heard suddenly had audio, so I had to stop my quick setup and come back in here. So, but everything sounds good for me right now. I'm glad we got it fixed. What would it be with the Wales Ragchew Net if we didn't have at least 1 or 2 gremlins during the whole thing? If everything went smooth as silk, Chris, you wouldn't know what to do. It would be so easy for you. And as it is, you make it look easy, even though there's some fast pedaling behind the scenes. I'll turn it back to you now. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, it's easy and it's not easy. Of course, yeah, Andy is eager. And he keeps building, he's built something, and he keeps connecting it to things. But unfortunately, yeah, I'm glad he didn't connect it over to the CQ Northwest. Well, he didn't connect it directly to W.D.R.G. I think he knows I'd kill him. Hi. But of course, yeah, he connected it into the CQ Northwest, and of course he's just tried. I think he's just tried to actually just come into us, hasn't he? And of course, yeah, that's what's happened. Unfortunately, he's tried to come into us, and of course, yeah, it broke down on him. It broke the system. So of course, I've given him the warning. He should have heard it, and hopefully he doesn't bother with it. And yeah. Simon M7CCS is listening on the live stream. He came back and went back, blimey. He's been told. But no, when it affects the Ragchew, yeah, I do get a little slightly annoyed when somebody tries to connect something in during the net as well. Because, of course, yeah, it breaks the net, doesn't it? But luckily we were able to pull it back. So we will move on, and we'll move forward to Rod G0EZ. I'll be back in normal order now.
G0EZ, back to the group. Well, yeah, surprise. I see Andy said the dog knocked the radio off the table and it's a bit broke. That's a shame, isn't it? I was bidding on a radio on eBay this week. I have an FDM 3200, which is a 2 meter only digital radio, C4FM, and the 77's one, the FTM 3207, is about, but there's very few of them about. Anyway, I bid on it and I didn't get it, so not a great loss. You know, there's not a lot happening on, especially on 77s here. I just fancy the matching pair. I have bid before and not gone anywhere. So, no worries at all. What else is there? But otherwise, yeah, I've done nothing else radio-wise. Like I say, I've been helping my good lady out doing jobs for her. I've had to get the car out and go into town once for paint. And then 2 days later, I have to go the other way and to go for paint there. So, yeah, busy time. But hopefully it'll settle down sort of shortly. And I'll be able to get on with things. And, Monty, yeah, I enjoy all these curries, really. And, you know, I used to be quite a good curry eater. Having been born in East Africa, you know, we're quite used to it, and I used to do it a lot. But yeah, quite like all of it. On Friday I had a butter chicken, and like you say, yeah, there was more meat than I wanted, really. So it certainly wasn't all gravy. But if you say the madras wasn't too hot, I think I might look up for that. I have a problem with my tongue, which doesn't allow me to. I can eat hot things, but I pay for it in general. So back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0 EUZ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie. Thanks very much for that, Rod. And yeah, of course, I see the comment there. Sorry, the dog knocked my radio off the table and it's a bit broken. But yeah, I hate those little boxes because you buy them from China and you can put 2 radios on them, and unfortunately they are a gripe. They've been a little bit of a gripe with the system, of course. I remember somebody else had one of them, but he was trying to do something good, and just link something else in. But yeah, I'm all for experimenting and all that kind of thing, but not in the middle of the Ragchew. You won't get a horrible email from me like you did from Peanut, though, Andy. Right, we go round to M0OKW, Mark, on TGIF. By Magic, over to you.
Yeah, okay, Chris, this is Mike 0 Oscar Kilo Whiskey. I think that's the first time I actually stated my call sign tonight. Anyway, what I've been doing is apart from doing stuff with this radio, and I really do need to put the contact in this radio because it keeps flicking back to 2356, and I have to keep putting the 9374 in. But at least it's working, and I can. It's weird. I don't understand what it's doing, but I'll put the contact in. It won't take me 2 minutes. But I've been making those AliExpress kits. I started off with one of those clocks. They're only about £3, £2, something like that. And then I bought a bit transistor radio. That was quite good fun, and it looks really good as well. It all comes in a box as well. And I've ordered another one now, which is a Tetris game. So I've been messing around soldering with that and using the blower on the soldering line to do the I can't remember what they call it now, where it's where the pins don't go through the board. What's it called? SLD or something? That was the first time I've been using that as well. Also, melts nice and easy for that. I'm going to have to go on the side because this thing keeps switching back. So I'm going to go back on the side. If I don't speak to you again, I'll speak to you next week when you're on. I'll make sure that I come back on for the for the anniversary. Okay, Chris, back to you.
Yep, okay there, Mark, and thanks very much. And of course, yeah, you need to come on next week because, of course, yeah, you were about for the first one. So we'll go round to Monty, 2W1, CER.
Yeah, Twitter here. Yeah. These oldie curries quite nice. They didn't have them in for a while here. They used to have some really nice pies as well, like last year, but they stopped selling them for some reason. But they were really nice. But yeah, they've new in stock. Chicken madras, beef madras. Yeah, it's worth it. They are very tasty. I'll give you that. It's just not like some sort of cheap meat with some brown sauce over the top that might have had some curry powder added to it. They actually look like they basted the meat in the sauce as well. Because normally you get it and you just get a gravy and then some white meat on top that's not been near it, so it doesn't have any of the flavour. But this, very tasty, very enjoyable. I wasn't expecting to be so spicy. Of course, I'd run out of mango chutney. I had some lime pickle, but I didn't fancy that with this, and I'm glad I didn't, because I think it would have spoiled it. But yeah, try them out. Very tasty. Worth it. But our Aldi's here is a really small one. The one in Brecon is massive. I like going to that one. But the one here is just a small, like, little satellite thing, I suppose, because the village is quite small. So, but the stock just doesn't seem to be so good. It seems to have, like, I reckon they just send up what hasn't sold anywhere else. They send it here, because we get some weird stuff. And it just doesn't seem to make sense, you know what I mean? But, yeah, for the basics, it's all right. Bread and milk, cakes and stuff. And it is a bit cheaper than Tesco's, I've got to be honest, but yeah.
Well, you managed to time out there, Monty. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to put the log up, and we're going to see if anybody else would like to actually call in to the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, I'll give it an over. I'm going to have to give it a bit of one, just to test whether I am getting in at all, whether I see the levels start lifting on CQ Northwest. Yep, I do. So I'll give a call for Whiskey Alpha 5 at Romeo India Papa, Michael.
Well, thanks, Chris. It's Whiskey Alpha 5 Romeo India Papa, and the hits just keep on coming today, don't they, Chris? Okay, I'll do my food for him for what we've had this week. Actually, I watched last week. Kathy made a taco soup and beef stew, which we kept in the refrigerator, and now she's got it in the individual containers for heating up, because there's something I really enjoy about leftover soup that's in stews, because it seems like that's when they really marry together well. Once you heat them up a couple of times, and everything seems to blend so much better. She also had some chicken breast earlier this week. Today, after she kind of rested up this morning, got a little bit more energy this morning. She made us chicken quesadillas from the leftover chicken that she had kind of cooked earlier this week, and so they were delicious. We get them done up with the vegetables. She had grilled peppers and onions, along with some cheese with the chicken, so they were delicious. So with that is my food form for today. Hope everybody has a great meal themselves later on, and I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, now going via MB6CS gateway. I think I'm going to try and go for a fag towards the end there. So if anyone times out, as much as you try and time out, I'm not going to be putting that up. But it's all good there, and I'm pretty surprised we've actually still got live stream watchers with losing that audio there. But of course, people that understand the live stream, they obviously understood that there was audio still going across there. And of course, Michael came with the has the net come offline. I'm hearing nothing with no activity. So at least there's always someone to tell me that something's not happening, and I do like that, because I'd rather be aware of it than oblivious of it, and then realise there was absolutely no audio through the whole live stream. Right, we're going to go to James now in Spain, 2E0, Victor, Whiskey, Juliet, for anybody watching the live stream, he identifies as 0. Over to you there, James, 2E0, Victor, Whiskey, Juliet.
2E0, VWJ, returning to the net. Yes, I must get my DMR it, and I forget what got in the way, but I've got everything to do all that, so I should do that, and maybe it will be in place. I'll let you know, Chris. Rod, I do like eBay. I think that's a topic in its own. Your favourite eBay bargains. I mean, you don't win them all, but I had my two favourite eBay purchases was once I went to a Neil Diamond concert when he came to Birmingham, and I think I paid about £100 for the ticket, and I was like the furthest chair away from the front, right at the very back, and everything was just like a little dot. And then I think he came again in a couple of years' time, and I thought, wow, yeah. So I put in a real lazy bid on a ticket for about £80, and bizarrely I won it, and it was 4 from the front. So you can get a bargain sometimes, usually when you're not trying very hard. And I think I've got an old cottage, and I bought a solid fuel Rayburn, and I won that for £53, and I thought that was the best bargain. But eBay bargains, lovely. And curries, yes, I make my own sort of like, randomly from all the Indian spices. I sort of go to the Indian supermarkets in Birmingham and pick up all the spices and grind them up and have a go at trying to make something interesting. And I did read up recently that the reason they taste better the next day is because it carries on marinating. The spices just continue to marinate. So, moldy curry, whether you keep that longer, it tastes better. The made ones, there's a lot to be said for sticking it in the fridge and waiting for another day. And I'm going to put it back to control. Mike 7, Charlie Sierra from 2E0, Victor Whiskey, Juliet.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thanks very much there, James, and I did hear you until I walked away from the gateway, bizarrely. Weird. Got it all. So I'll put it round to Rod. I might get a little bit more success. G0, EUZ.
MB6IPG-0 to the group. Yeah, my favourite so far from Aldi Curry, king prawn boomer, which isn't too hot. Bags of prawns in it and bags of taste. And I make my own flatbreads, and you know, they go well instead of the batteries. And yeah, it's brilliant. And yeah, I know what you mean about the batteries, Monty. It's always the same. They never ever have the batteries in. And I'm presuming somebody's buying them. And occasionally, very occasionally, you'll find there is a battery, but then there's no charger. So, but there's plenty of tools. So that's a shame, though. But really, when I think about it, I've got more tools than I'm ever going to use. I've got some brand new still in the box. But I bought for when one breaks down, but it never has because I don't use them that often anymore. So there we go. But yeah, I've got all battery operated now. But occasionally, a battery operated one, especially on hard brick, will not do the job. You know, even hammer. You've got to get a plug-in drill to do it. So there we go. I've got quite a lot of jobs to do this summer if I can muster some energy and get on with it when the weather's better. But we'll have to see how we go on. M7CCS G0, use it.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, that was a perfect over for me that time. Yeah, I think it literally was just that I decided to walk away from everything, and it decided to try and play me up. But yeah, it's probably because of that no ID thing. But yeah, I still got him back anyway, so that's good. And I kept you in there, Rod, as well. And of course, yeah, Aldi, we're on curries. Yeah, they do a korma sauce. They do Rogan Josh with added extra spices as well. So that's what I normally use in the slow cooker. But we are going to have a korma this week, so I picked that one up, so I remembered that. They do a madras and a boomer as well in our Aldi. So you can, you know, if you're going to make it up yourself. So we're going to go Miss Mark 8. And we're going to go to 2W1 CER. Monty, range to you there.
21 Tango Echo Romeo. Yeah, they do some nice food in there, but yeah, no charges either. That's another thing I noticed. Yeah, but yeah, well, it is what it is. I suppose you buy the tools and wait a couple of weeks, and the batteries will turn up or something. But I find a lot of people scalping it. I mean, there's one when I was in Aberystwyth. There was a lot of motorbike kit came up for sale. And I went in there to get some stuff because I ride a bike, and there was a bloke in there, and he loaded his trolley up with all the intercoms and all the small stuff and that, and he was bragging to his missus he was going to make a fortune on eBay on it. So I just waited till he was at the till line, and then I just pulled up my trolley and took a load of stuff out of his trolley and put it in my trolley. You know, only the stuff I wanted, because he'd scalped the whole shelf. And he started trying to kick off, and I just looked at him and said, well, what are you going to do? I mean, you don't own it till you've paid for it. And to be honest, I said, you know, I'm a lot fitter and a lot younger than you, so if you want to take it outside, we'll do it. And he sort of backed down in the end, and the staff were laughing and that. But yeah, he was just going to be an eBay scalper. So I was like, right, yeah, I'll just help myself to his kit. He can do all the shopping for me. But he was ranting and raving, and I was just laughing. That made him even madder was the fact that I was just not threatened by him at all. And yeah, I hate those sort of people. You know, it was like £3.99 for something in Aldi's, and then they'll bang it up on eBay for like 15 quid or something. And you know, people are going to buy it because people are.
Charlie Sierra. Well, I returned to the shack just as that happened, and yeah, I'm going to get rid of that echo. Yeah, returned to the shack just as that happened, and of course, yeah, you did actually get the timeout. So of course, yeah, you've had a timeout. The one bit of audio that will work if there are any dropout. Hi. Right, we're down at the bottom of the list, so I will see if anybody does want to call in before we, well, the amount of people we've got, we could take it round one more time and then do a 7-3. So, we'll see if anybody else is there. If you'd like to join in with the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
N6 UTC.
Okay, nothing heard there. Or did I say it? Geez, I'm at 31600. Oh, N6 UTC, NDAF. NDAF, N6 UTC, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, everybody else end up here in Southern California, N6 UTC, using a, believe it or not, I'm going the cheap route. I'm going through a ALLSTAR. Back to you.
Yeah, it's okay, going for a ALLSTAR, but you're still getting to us there, NDAF. Yeah, I did see another call sign as well, so we'll see if they want to join in as well. And that was M0BAH, so M0BAH. Would you like to join in with the Wales Ragchew Net?
Hi there, this is M0BAH. I was just actually surfing around and found your note and started looking into it, and very interesting. And I've actually just added Alexa to the combination, so that's amazing. I won't hold it if you don't mind. I've got a few things on the go here, but I'm certainly listening in while you're chatting to you guys. Well, thanks for the invite, do appreciate that. It's now added to my node list on YSX, so I'll be logged onto you all the time here. So anyone driving by can sort of log on and get you straight away. So anyway, I won't hold it. I'll pass it back to you guys from M0BAH. Thanks again for the invite.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, not a problem there. And of course, yep, I believe you've connected in via cqnorthwest on their WiresX there. And of course, yeah, the Alexa skill, everything else. Which is during the net, because yeah, cqnorthwest does connect in there. Of course, yeah, it would be good if we did have it a little bit more permanently, because that Alexa skill would be pretty handy for people listening. But also, yeah, it's all about creating activity, and maybe traffic can generate traffic. Yeah, that's all good. So I said we were going to go up to the top of the list, and we were going to go around one more time and then do the 7-3 after that. So we go up to Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Well, thanks, Chris. It's Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And Andy, welcome to the Wales Ragchew Net. New people are always welcome. We do this every week, as Chris will probably tell you. And we're always looking for new blood to join in with us and share their stories with us. I just saw that the weatherman says that there's a possibility of snow coming in today or maybe tomorrow. Now, here in the south of the United States, that means that people will go into a full-scale panic whenever they hear snow, and they will run to the grocery stores and buy out all the bread and milk and toilet paper that they can possibly get their hands on. I don't quite understand that mentality myself, because what are you going to do with bread, milk, and toilet paper? I would much rather have steak and something a little stronger myself. But that's just the way they are, I guess. And it's been like that my whole life. But just mentioning the word snow throws people into a panic. But I just thought that was kind of humorous because, as far as I can tell, we're probably not going to get very much snow at all. It's probably gone in about a day or so, and they'll be stockpiling for as if it was going to be a winter blizzard and we're going to be snowed in for a couple of weeks. But just a little insight into southern United States. Turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. That's the first time since you using cqnorthwest. Your call sign at the end. But, yeah, it's all good there. So, yeah, we're going to go round to 0, 2E0, Victor Whiskey Juliet, James. Yeah, that joke will probably stick. The same as, of course, yeah. The joke that sticks with Steve, who's not with us this week. Of course, he's not changed over to GW. Yeah, so of course, yeah, he identifies us. So yeah, round to you there, James. 2E0, Victor Whiskey Juliet.
Victor Whiskey Juliet returning. Yes, I don't think there's going to be any snow here, so we won't have any problem picking up toilet rolls and bread at the supermarket. But yeah, it is a strange phenomenon that the panic buying goes on, and especially like even when we had the COVID-19 and all that toilet roll problem, it was just a madness. But yeah, no, it's. I think the Spanish here are a bit too laid back for stuff like that. It is a bit more relaxed sort of atmosphere here. You know, people just trundle through daily life and don't really worry too much. So yeah, no problems there. And there is an Aldi up the road. I don't know if it's Aldi or Lidl, but one of those two. But I'll be checking it out for the curries and making comparisons. I've made notes of all the different curries everyone's picked up, and I shall be popping in there tomorrow and seeing what they got stocked on the shelves. It sounds very tasty. Anyway, I'll keep it short, and I'll put it back to control from 2E0, Victor Whiskey Juliet.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, James. And yeah. An Aldi or a Lidl in Spain. Well, of course, yeah. It was all part of the EU at one point, wasn't it? So, but yeah, Aldi or a Lidl. But of course, yeah, it might actually cater more to yeah, the Spanish market. But then again, if it's anything like you see on the telly, yeah, you can pretty much get everything you can get in the UK. As that, what was it they called it on the Benidorm series? Blackpool with Sun, that's the one. So, right, we go round to Rod, G0, EUZ.
G0, EUZ. Hello to NF. Still on the safe side of California, in Long Beach, so let us know when it's your turn. Yeah, I can't understand this stockpiling stuff. I mean, I heard tales of people had bought that many toilet rolls and stored them in the toilet. They couldn't use the toilet. There wasn't room to get in through the door. You know, well, that's typical, that. And unless you've got a freezer, your bread's going to go off. And so is your milk, you know. So, well, yeah, when you think about it, in the old days, every street had a, and they only used to shop at the warehouse once a month. So they carried quite a stock between them. But of course, these supermarkets now, it's all just in time. As and when it's required, you know, and it's all computer controlled. Nobody decides, oh, we'll better get another pallet of milk in. The computer tells them they're short on milk, so they send one out, you know. So, yeah, you could actually run out fairly quickly, which wouldn't be good, would it? For the most part, it wouldn't bother me. It's the same with Christmas. You know, they shop for one day, Christmas Day. And yet, we buy, you know, milk and bread and rolls and this, that, and the other for a fortnight. Why? I don't know. M7CCS G0, he is it.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, it's strange you mentioned that about the shells being there, because we went to Aldi as well. Yeah, we went yesterday actually, and we went in the evening, and the shells were pretty bare. Mostly fruit and vegetables wise, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff not there that's usually there, and we were like, what's next? Because obviously people have been stockpiling stuff. But yeah, the people stockpile stuff, but of course the factories still produce it. It's strange that, isn't it? So next we're going to go round to Monty, 2W1 TER, round to you there.
Yeah, 2 Whiskey 1 Tango Echo Romeo. Yeah, well, you've got to get Aldi's in Spain and places because it's a German company. It is the EU, isn't it? It's bigger over there than it is over here. But yeah, it's Aldi's, Lidl's, all EU countries have them. Big company, Aldi's and Lidl's, and they're massive. But some of the superstores are amazing. I went to one, where was it? I can't remember now. And I walked in there, it was like, it was joy. Just joy across my face. There was just aisles and aisles of stuff down the centre. Yeah, it was just, yeah. Sent shivers down my spine looking at all those tools and all good quality stuff as well, the German tools. I recommend anyone, if you can go get the tools from there. The screwdriver sets are brilliant. Got a little rack and everything, and they got ones in at the moment with like a ratchet handle thing with hundreds of different heads on it, like flats, Phillips, Torx. Yeah, really worth it. 10 quid. Have that in your drawer. Fix anything. But yeah, Spain, yeah, it has a much more laid-back attitude. Much more laid-back. But yeah, I was looking at photographs of the snow in 1982, and it was like we were snowed in for 3 weeks down in the valleys in South Wales, and they had to bring food in by helicopter because they couldn't get it in any other way. And it's all out in corner shops. But once they ran out, and like, you know, this stock to order stuff like Tesco's has now. Yeah, all right, the computer says that they've run out of cornflakes on the
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yeah, and you have timed out pretty much every time. And of course, yeah, you got the bells. So next we will go into N6 UTC and
Alright, N6 UTC here. To answer Rod's question, yeah, we were never affected by those fires in other parts of LA County. As I was telling everybody last week, where I am in Long Beach, we're shielded by the San Gabriel mountain range from the the full force of the Santa Ana winds, I should say. It was windy here, but not to the point where, you know, it causes any huge problems. So yeah, we weren't affected at all. Anyway, not sure if this is the last go around. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. I gotta get ready for my trip up to Santa Barbara County tomorrow for the VHF contest. I wanted to go roving this weekend, but my car had different ideas. So I was in the garage today, and I just got it back, and it's just too late to kind of start packing up and getting ready. So I'll just go up to Charlie Mike 94 tomorrow. All right, talk to everybody again. N6 UTC, Southern California.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, of course, yep, it's all good, and we've got one more go around. But we will call to see if anyone wants to go and to say a 7-3 before we go to the top of the list. And cool. So, would anybody else like to have an over on the Wales Ragchew Net before we go up and do the 7-3 round? Go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and you're over.
M6DQB, Pablo in Scarborough, North England. Good evening, Chris. Sorry I haven't been around. I have been listening throughout the night. Very good net, and I'm just playing around with the computer and HF at the moment. So I'll just be listening on the side. So 73's all, and catch you next time, hopefully, from M6DQB.
Yep, 73 there, Pablo, M6 DQB. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to the top of the list, Whiskey Alpha 5 of Romeo India Papa.
Well, thank you, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. It has been an interesting net with your remnants running rampant, but it keeps you active, keeps you going, and it's still been a fun net for me. I've enjoyed the go-rounds and listening to everybody talk today. It's good to hear from Rod. You take care of yourself in the coming week, Rod, and we'll see you next week on the birthday net. And like I said, Chris, I still enjoy every one of these nets. I guess going on 5 years. Hope everybody stays safe out there. I know we've got a lot of illness over here in the States, flu, COVID, and upper respiratory infections. So everybody be careful out there. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next week right here on the Wales Ragchew Net. 73 from Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, 7-3 there, Michael. And of course, yeah, we will catch you next week. So we'll go round to James now for his last over and 7-3. 2-0, Victor Whiskey Juliet from Spain.
2-0, VWJ from Spain. Yes, I'll say 7-3's all. It's gone rather quickly this evening, the net. I think the various glitches has added to the excitement of it all. And I've got it notes down of all the different colours to look out for in Aldi. And I look forward to, like Michael says, the birthday net next week. I don't know whether we should be armed with a selection of party food, but we'll probably be informed of what's required. But maybe there should be some sort of birthday time-out theme or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, lovely to hear everybody on. And I'll say 7-3's all from Spain, and I look forward to speaking next week from 2-0, VWJ in Spain. 7-3's.
7-3 there, and yeah, don't think that hadn't already crossed my mind. But of course, yeah, it's some work, but yeah, the help of my notepad on the PC, I'll be alright. And I'd be able to change it and change it back. So yeah, I suppose yeah, the time is a feature, and it does get hit a few times, doesn't it? So of course, yeah, we could pretty much have the time out with a happy birthday on there as well. So yeah, we'll have to try and make it short and sweet though, speed it up. So right, what we're going to do now, we're going to go round to, well, I'm looking at the dashboard and it's telling me to go to G0EUZ. But I'm looking at MB6IPG and it last heard Michael. But yeah, I realise why now. It's because James spoke last. So over to you, G0EUZ for your last over and 7-3.
0EUZ. Back to the group for the last time. Yeah, it's been a good net, enjoyed it. And yes, it has flown by. Always does when you're having a good time, there's plenty going on. And not too many people, so as you get a, quick go round. I was listening to somebody who went on the 145 Alive, and after 30 minutes, he didn't get called back in. So he didn't bother after that. So I see, Chris, that you're going to be running a net. I have a feeling, I'm going to go on, but I have a feeling that the two people in my area aren't close enough for me. But nevertheless, I shall give it a try. Just to be interesting. I've thought about it in the past, but for one reason or another, I've never got around to it. So we say 7-3s, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Obviously, I won't be there on Wednesday because I'll be sat in the hospital getting pumped up with fluid. M7CCS, G0EUZ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. I just realised we could have been getting ahead of ourselves. I haven't done a check on any calendar. Yeah, I'd better check on that because we're saying birthday net next week. But yeah, we've got to check it out on a calendar. So we are on Saturday the 18th. Yeah, no, we've got Saturday the 25th. And then we've got February 1st. So it won't be the birthday net next week. It's on the 1st of February. That's when the first net ever was the 1st of February. And it was on a Saturday, and that does fall on a Saturday as well. So it's not next week, it's this week. Yeah, so that everyone knows that. So 7-3 to you there, Rod. Next we're going to go round down to Monty, 2W1. 2W1 TER. Monty, round to you there for your 7-3 and last over.
Yeah, 7-3's all. Is it next week? Yeah, well, you'll let us know, no doubt. And yeah, nice chatting to everybody again. And I don't know if I'll be in next week or the week after. I know because I've got to go in for my operation pretty soon to have a bit of my lung removed. So I don't know how well I'll be after that. Whether I'll be able to talk properly, or I don't know. So I'm not even going to worry about it. It is what it is, and it's got to be done, isn't it? It's all part of the battle. And so far I'm winning, so I'm not going to second guess anything. And then tomorrow I've got the battle to get the bloody dust valve off one of my tyres on the van. It's seized on. And I'm frightened in case I force it, in case it rips the valve. And then I've got a flat tyre by the side of the house and I can't get it repaired. So I'm going to have to look at that very carefully. But 7-3's all, and I'll speak to you next week or the week after or the week after or the week after. This is 21 Tango Echo Romeo, going clear.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, that's you going clear there. And of course, yep, I have got the calendar up. So it's the 18th today. And so that's the Ragchew we're doing today. Then we've got the 25th next week. That's the Ragchew. And then, of course, yeah, the 145 live event. We've got that on the Sunday. And then the week after, then is the 1st of February, and that is the birthday of the Ragchew Net. So we'll go round to N6UTC, see if he's still there, for a 7-3. Round to you there, Ender. Okay, nothing heard from Ender, but we give him the honorary 7-3. He thought it was the last round, on the last round, mate. So, of course, yeah, in the net tonight, we did have myself, and then we had Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa Michael, 2E0, Victor Whiskey Juliet. So, that was James from Spain, in Spain. We had G0, EUZ, Rod in Cambridge. We had 2W0 APD, Andy, yeah, where he was over on CQ Northwest and listening. We had M7 DMH, Chris in Minsterworth was listening. Mrs. Sussy, yeah, Sue, M7IJP listening. We had Daryl MW0 GTF listening, and Mrs. Daryl. 2E0 PXW Barry was listening. M6DQB was listening, and he had an over. M0 OKW, of course, yep, he was on the net there by accident, but we included him, Mark, via the TGIF. And then, of course, we had Monty, 2W1 TER. So, of course, yeah, he's over there, over here, anywhere. We had Simon MW0 GSR was listening via YouTube, N6UTC via a hotspot, and M0BAH, and he was via CQ Northwest there. So, of course, yeah, the next net on W.D.R.G is City on Wednesday from 16:30 UTC. So, of course, that'll be City's net there, and CQ Northwest will be connected once again. And of course, yeah, you can use the network in the week. That's what it's there for. So, I've been Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, 7-3, and catch you later in the week. 7-3.